Taylor Swift, that's anti-hero. What a pleasure to welcome our guest this afternoon. It is the wonderful, the famous, the woman of great endurance. Not since, I'd say, Ernest Shackleton have I read about somebody so able and extraordinary as Louise Minchin. Hello, Louise. What a pleasure to see you.
All right, it's lovely to see you as well. Thank you so much. And
And
that's quite a build-up. I feel a little bit nervous about that.
don't be nervous. Your book is the answer to all the questions I could possibly ask you. So
Good.
this is a good thing. We were meant to meet in person, of course, but the trains got the
Yeah,
better of us.
I live in the Northwest in Chester, and
Yes.
I won't mention the train line, but if you know it, you live in the Northwest, you know which one it is, and it didn't go.
It
So,
just
but at
didn't go.
least it just didn't go.
Hey, but listen, like your book is a testament to who you are. You'll say, well, that doesn't matter. We'll find a way.
Yeah, I was going to run, but it would have taken me too long.
Yeah, no, that's okay. No, the Zoom is fine. It's just as quick. Listen, what a pleasure to meet you, and congratulations on Fearless. I love it because it's going where I just love the genesis of this project in the sense that you were kind of sitting there on the couch presenting TV for years and years, and kind of getting a little fed up with the I suppose the overly male nature of it. And I don't think it was an unfounded question that you were asking. So tell us a little bit
So the
about
que-
that.
Yeah, so the book is called Fearless Adventures with Extraordinary Women. And the question was, you just mentioned, I really love adventure and sports. And I call myself, it happened to me late in life, I took up sport age 45.
Yeah.
I call myself now an endurance athlete. That means I go long distances, probably not very fast. But I really love stories about people who are being brave, being intrepid, doing intrepid things outdoors, adventurous things. I love those stories because I think they're so inspiring. I can't hear enough about people climbing the highest mountains or rowing the biggest oceans, whatever it is. And I noticed that mostly when we talked about those stories on BBC Breakfast over those many years, 20 years that I presented the show,
Yeah.
really over 90% of the time, it was always a man who starred in those stories. And I just thought, what's going on here? Is it that women don't do these things, or is it that we don't hear from them, we don't celebrate them, we don't have them sitting on the red sofa? And the book is the answer to that question. I think all your listeners know the answer
Yeah,
to
no.
that.
I mean, I was answering in my head. Where are all the women? And why are there so many men? Because men go, let me tell you about the mountain I climbed. And the women are going, I just climbed the mountain. I'm going to go, it's maybe. I don't know. It could be just
I
that.
mean, yeah, I could have written a book, and there is definitely something to be written on why we don't do it. But actually, for me, the more interesting thing was
Yeah.
just do the one thing that I can do is that I love sport, so I wanted to go meet them and help amplify their story by meeting them and telling their stories in this book. And it was just the most uplifting, extraordinarily brilliant year that I had, meeting all these different women from lots of different backgrounds, whether
Yes.
it was race or it was religion, or and you wouldn't look at some of them and think, gosh, that's an amazing natural athlete. Because I think you need, heroes can come in any different shape or
Yeah.
size. We all need heroes that look a bit different so we can think, hang on a second, you know what? I'm going to go and do something that's challenging me, a little bit adventurous for me. That's why I wanted to write it.
Yeah, and you notice as you're going through the chapters that there's not really a type.
No,
Certainly physically, maybe psychologically, but there's no one seems to be richer than somebody else. They're not all rich. They're not all built like athletes. They're not all
no.
what. So how did you decide to whittle it down? I'm sure you had heaps and heaps and heaps of
Yeah.
people you were thinking of. How did you decide it's this crowd I'm going to go with?
Of course. So the thing is, as soon as you say, oh, I'm going to write about amazing women, and I've done lots of talks about the book. Well, I was doing one last night. People go, oh, did you get Jasmine Paris, for
Yeah,
example, in the
yeah, yeah.
book? I wish she was in the book. She would have to be in the next book, but I couldn't keep up. And she's just done the first woman to complete the Barkley Marathons, which is the most epic, terrifying endurance run. There were five women who I particularly wanted in it. One example is Kath Pendleton.
Hmm.
She's an ice swimmer. She has a Guinness World Record for swimming a mile in the Antarctic Circle. Okay. And it was zero point 0.3 degrees, and she was
Mad,
wearing a swimming costume and a swimming hat.
mad.
But superhuman. If
Yeah.
I was in that water, I mean, I'm a swimmer and I like swimming long distances. If I was in that water, I wouldn't survive. Somebody told me, an expert told me, 30 seconds. So there were some people I particularly wanted in the book, and then there's another one. I'm just going to read you a little
Please
quote
do.
actually, because I was sitting here reading my
Yeah,
book
yeah.
again while I was waiting
Why,
for
why
you.
wouldn't you?
This is from Z Alima, and she wants to be the first Black Muslim woman to play rugby for England. And this is a quote from her about all the barriers that she faced playing rugby. Okay. And this is her quote. She says, rugby culture is very alcohol based. Imagine me, a young Muslim girl. I'm covered up. I don't drink. I'm playing rugby. I felt the odds were against me, but I felt I loved the sport. And I love her for that. She was just like, I don't care that the odds against me, that people don't expect me to do turning up. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that because I love it. I'm going to do that also. You know, she's now motivated by the fact that she inspires young women to go and play rugby when they thought it wasn't a sport for her.
Isn't that extraordinary?
Brilliant.
So
Yeah.
it's as much as the feat, the endeavor, as it is about the reason for the endeavor to be achieved.
Yeah.
So in your
Yeah.
case, you just mentioned a few minutes ago that you were 45 when you kind of took it all up. Was there a trigger point for that? Was there a moment in your life that drove that?
Yeah.
Can I
Yeah, it was
ask
a
you
brilliant.
about
It was very specific trigger point.
Okay.
I was doing a BBC challenge, a cycling challenge ahead of Christmas, in the Velodrome in Manchester, and my lovely dear friend, now departed, Bill Turnbull. I was racing essentially against him as well as Susanna Reid, and he was heard to say, "There's one thing that can't happen today. I can't be beaten by a girl." And if you know anything
Yes.
about me.
Yeah. What a silly thing to
That
say.
what a foolish thing to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
And so there was a moment then when I did the race, and I sort of made a choice whether to race safely or to try and beat Bill. And the bottom line is I put everything on the line, and I did beat him. But it wasn't that. It was when I went over the finishing line, I just went, oh my gosh, I forgot for 30 years how much I loved that feeling of pushing yourself, of challenging yourself, and doing something that you think is hard. So I went back to sport. Yeah, at 30 years after giving it up as a good swimmer, but I just gave up because I didn't like my body image,
Yeah.
which is such a, I feel so ashamed to say that, but I say it because there'll be people today who are listening to you who think, oh gosh, that's maybe why I gave up, or maybe why I shouldn't give up. I should get back and do whatever it is that I love.
What does that mean? You didn't like your body? Like what age are you
Oh,
talking about? Just
so
because.
yeah, I was 15,
Yeah.
and I when I was little, I was a real, what you would call in those days, a real tomboy. I
Yep.
loved being outside. I loved getting muddy and climbing trees, and I also had like really short hair, and people would call me laddie. And I looked in the mirror age 15 and just saw these muscly shoulders and arms that I had, and I thought, gosh, I think they make me look, more masculine than I think I should look. So that's why I gave it up, because of my body image, which is such a sad thing actually, because I loved it. It was such an important part of my life then and now.
Isn't it so sad that you lost out in some ways on so much enjoyment because of that
Yeah.
moment? But what is so lovely about your honesty in telling that story is that those listening in, it could be a teenager in the back of the car who's forced to listen to the
Yeah.
station because their mum likes it, or their dad. And they're going, yeah, do you know what? She's right. Who cares? I'm happy.
Yeah.
I look good. I feel good. Just keep going.
And also the thing is about, I've realized in talking to lots of the women in the book, because there's a lot of body image, we have a lot of conversations about that. And what I've really come to realize, that I'm not proud of necessarily how my body looks like. It is just how it looks,
Sure.
but I'm proud of what it can do. And like
Yes.
this weekend, I went and very slowly, I did a 25-kilometer mountain run in Keswick and make myself
Why
laugh.
not? Why wouldn't you?
Why
I mean,
wouldn't you?
yeah.
And I was really slow, and I came 530th out of about 580, but I can do it, and I'm just so excited by that.
I love that you came 530th out of 580 because A, you still beat me, but B, it's not about necessarily being the first over the
No.
line. It's about participation. It's about pushing yourself
Yeah.
and enjoying it.
And I just think there's one particular woman in the book who does triathlons, really long distance triathlons, with a stoma. And I just think, and she knows when she starts a race that she's likely to come last, but it doesn't matter. There's some of the real heroes, I think, in life are the people, at the end of the London Marathon who are coming last. They had they've certainly made the most of the course, haven't they? And all the fans, but they've had the biggest, a lot of them, and not everyone, but has had really big things they've had to go to get there. So I love those stories. I love being there at the end.
So when you look back in the book, you were having a little look at it there while Taylor Swift, and you were enjoying Taylor Swift. That's by the by.
I was definitely.
And why wouldn't you be? But when you're looking back over the stories, what
Yeah.
is your takeaway from your own book? I mean, is it about have a go, everybody? Is it about don't underestimate yourself? Is it about don't be convinced by others or by society? What are you taking away? What's
you've just done all of those
Oh,
things.
right, okay.
It's definitely all of those things. So just I'm not sure I explained it very well, but so in the book, I met all these amazing women there from a complete diversity of sport as well.
Yes.
And then being me, I didn't do it on Zoom because I would have I would have been in London today if I could. I didn't do it on Zoom. I went to do the thing that they loved. So I cycled across Argentina, as you do, with an amazing athlete called Mimi Anderson. But what did I take away from it? I took away that challenge, and it's very much reflects what I feel as well. I think if you choose, I feel very privileged that I can choose to go and do these things.
Yes.
And if you put yourself through challenges and choose to do that, then you can learn enormous things about yourself, about resilience, about determination, about, when you're having a bad day, then tomorrow will be might be a better day. Do you sort of mean? So, and take that back into other parts of your life. And I just loved all these women because they are, I think if people pick up the book, they will find someone who there'll be a little nugget there that will go on and inspire them. And I can see that already happening. And it's been so rewarding to see that happening.
Hey, listen, it's not so much a book as a manual for the fearless out there, male or female. And fun. Can we see the award you won there? Come on, blow the trumpet.
This is the first time I've been able to show it to everybody. This is called the People's Book Prize.
Yes.
The People's Book Prize. And thank you. If there's anybody who's listening who voted, I mean, I literally cannot tell you enough. I don't win trophies, as we've already established from my sporting achievements. But the book has got this glorious trophy. It's about 1 foot high. It's glass. I'm really worried that I'm going to drop it.
Oh, it's a beautiful award.
So, isn't it gorgeous?
Yeah, I mean, you are one of the few guests or people I've met today who can say, been there, done that. Won the T-shirt, because even your T-shirt is fearless.
I'm fully.
You're branded up.
All the merch.
All the merch. I love that. Louise, I've loved talking to you today. Let's do it in real life soon.
Thank you so much for your enthusiasm.
No.
And the paperback is out on Thursday.
Congratulations.
So
2 days' time. That's Louise Minchin joining us from a very smart looking room, I have to say. Very professional, but I expect nothing less. That book, what a fascinating tiptoe through the various places and underground, overground, like the Wombles, just with great a sense of adventure and can-do spirit, daring do, if I may call it that. Louise Minchin joining us live at the top of the tower. Thank you.